I dropped the lens cap under my bed, and now it's gone. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bobby's European Adventure, and this is week 3. And ooh, she was a doozy, and I got my coffee, and I'm ready. I had booked an Airbnb on Tuesday of last week, and the guy emailed me like almost immediately and was like, actually, I can't host you, and he immediately canceled it. And then I found another place to stay right after that, and it was super cheap. It was only like 50 or 55 pounds a night, and it was a whole apartment. It was like a studio apartment, basement level, so you had a little garden and everything. Looking at the calendar, and I was going in Friday and I was leaving Sunday morning, and so those were the only 3 days available, but I figured someone might have had a cancellation or something, so I didn't really think anything of it. Fast forward to Friday morning, I'm in my class and I get a phone call. And the guy's like, hi, my name's Daniel. I'm a customer service rep here at Airbnb. And I'm sorry to tell you, but your host called us today. They're gonna have to cancel you. I'm gonna get back to you and I'm gonna email you a list of 3 options to choose from. And then once you choose your option, book with them and you'll be all set. He sends me a list of 3 apartments and says, I checked in with these people. They're all available to host you. And I was like, oh, I'll pick number 1. And she only had those 3 dates open. She had Friday through Sunday. So I book with her. Maybe about a half an hour later or so, she emails me, I can't host you both of these nights. I can only host you one of them. And so I was starting to see red. This was like towards the end of my lunch break. I write her back and I'm like, you know what? You're my 3rd cancellation this week. Thank you. She gives me a refund. So then I send him screen caps of the conversation and I tried to call him back. It's 2 o'clock. I'm running out of time. He emails me and then called me right after and said that they found another host for me, and she's like a 5-star rated host. And so I went to book with her and I was reading the description of the apartment and the location and everything. And she mentioned she had a cat. And I'm allergic to cats and dogs. Yes, I can be around them for a while, but me staying in a house with a cat, regardless of whether the cat is allowed in the room or not, it's not good. I won't be able to breathe. My eyes will be all red and swollen and shut. I don't need to have an allergy or an asthma attack. It's not that deep. Wrote him back and I was like, I can't stay with her. She is a cat. I'm allergic. Give me 5 minutes. I'll call someone else. So he ended up calling me back. She can host you. She has a room. Here's her listing. Book it. Go online to book the listing. She has the weekend blacked out. And I'm like, what is going on? Her weekend is blacked out. I can't book it. He gets her to open up the window for the weekend. I go and I book. You know, she accepts my payment. She wrote me back in an email and was like, I'm definitely more than happy to host you. So great, awesome. How I got to her house at first was the underground tube for like 4 or 5 stops, I think, then transferred to an overground, took the overground train 5 or 6 stops, then had to walk almost an entire mile to get to her house. And it was all uphill. The whole walk was uphill. And I'm walking and I'm just like, this is absurd. I was just seeing red. I was in such a bad mood and I was like, I'm done with you guys. I'm done with Airbnb. I'm done. So I get to the house. It's this beautiful, fully renovated townhouse. Gorgeous house, gorgeous room, gorgeous bathroom, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. And so we talked and I explained to her what happened with the Airbnb and people canceling. And I asked her about, you know, being blacked out. And she told me that she had someone else that was scheduled to stay with her. The guy never showed up, so she was able to take me. She was lovely, she was nice, and as I started to calm down and I stopped seeing red, you know what? It's not their fault. It's not Daniel's fault. I was really rude to him. You know what? I'm gonna give Airbnb another chance. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not their fault the host canceled on me. It's not their fault that this, and this happened. I get back to my house on Sunday night, and the Airbnb that canceled on me Friday morning left me a review on Airbnb.com. And it was like, great tenant, gladly will rent to them again. So I wrote a comment back and I was like, you guys actually canceled me the day of. I never stayed with you and that's unacceptable. And they were like, we're sorry this happened. We didn't actually cancel you at all. Airbnb screwed up and double booked us for the weekend. And they claimed that Airbnb automatically canceled it and it had nothing to do with them, because if they had canceled, it would have been on their page as a cancellation and they would have been charged a fee and whatever. So remember how I said Daniel specifically told me that the Airbnb host called him and that they had to cancel me? Who do I believe? Do I believe Daniel? Do I believe the Airbnb host? What's going on? This just kind of seems like a big, like, mess of a situation, and I'm gonna delete my Airbnb. So I did. And I tweeted at them and I was like, I'm deleting my Airbnb account right now and I'm moving over to HomeAway. Then the next day, HomeAway tweets me and says, welcome to HomeAway. Savage. Anyway, it's my Airbnb. And like I mentioned, it was really, really far away. It was about an hour door to door to get to the West End for me, 45 minutes, an hour, depending upon connections and stuff. Really was not that big of a deal staying out that far, except for me having to get up so early to do the Harry Potter thing on Sunday. I got in her house around 7. I laid down and took a nap. My buddy Society, she swings on 3 different West End shows right now as a hairdresser and a makeup artist. Kind of does the same thing that I do, but here in the UK. And so she works at The Box, which is a nightclub in London. I'm not a huge nightclub person unless I'm ridiculously drunk or like stoned out of my mind or whatever. I'm too awkward and introverted and I just kind of stand there and I'm just like awkward. And the drinks were like 17 pounds a piece. Didn't stop me from buying 3 of them. That's like triple the price I've been paying in London, period. And I was like, oh, they're doing a show? Okay, I didn't know there were shows. The woman did a number where she had like a rocker outfit on and she took everything off, revealing that she had a penis. And at the end of the number, ran around the audience peeing. No joke, peeing all over everything. And the guy next to me pushes me in front of him and ducks behind me. And I'm like, really? Really? So I got pee on my shoe. Luckily, it was only my shoe. That's it. Wasn't that bad. I finally found Society. I talked to her. I stayed and watched the second show. I don't remember all of the numbers because by that point I'd had like 7 drinks, 6 or 7 drinks. So I was, hello. By the time I got back, the sun was coming out. It was after 4. I think I woke up around 11 or so. And I had been talking to Vicenza at the Wig Room Training Academy. And we had been talking about me coming by to say hi on Saturday before I went in to see my matinee. I didn't end up leaving my house until late. I got there, my matinee was at 2:45. And I got to her place, I think at 1:30. And she was teaching a private student named Jacob. And it was his last day of class. I think he had done the whole week. And so he was working on a comb out and her and I sat and talked about the industry and the biz and starting companies and everything. And she has this beautiful, beautiful space, has an amazing outdoor space where she lets her wigs air dry in the wind and in the sun. It's just, so beautiful, and I wish that my space could look like that too, except I kind of run a website out of it too, so I have to have like a warehouse situation. One day, maybe when I move to Vegas, I'll have a nice setup like that. One day, I don't know. She was wearing a black polka dot dress, I was wearing a black polka dot shirt. Oh, I got the memo, we're matching, yay! And then I said, I have to leave it too, I have to leave it too, I have to leave it too. But you know me, chattiest Kathy of all Kathys, I didn't get out of there until almost 10 after 2. And my matinee was at 2:45. And it was supposed to take 37 minutes door to door. I power walked to the tube. Once I actually saw the tube in the distance, I ran down in the tube, went down, and I literally like jumped onto the train as the doors closed behind me. Like perfect timing. Get to King's Cross, St. Pancras. It looks like pancreas, but it doesn't have the E, so it's Pancras, I think. Changed to a different line. I got tickets to see Lady Day, and luckily that's the show I picked because the tube station is literally on the corner. And I just literally ran up the stairs. It was 2:43. They don't do this typical 8 to 10 minutes late Broadway thing like we do in New York. No, it's 2:45, go. Audra McDonald. Wow. Like, I can only say wow. That seagull just like went and like went off of a roof really slow. Oh, another one just did it. Oh my God, they're so, oh, I hate birds anyway, especially seagulls, they creep me out. She was fabulous. It was only 90 minutes and I'd seen I missed Lady Day in New York, and I remember seeing her perform on the Tonys, which, if I remember correctly, was after the show had closed. I think it was only a limited run. And I just remember being blown away by the voice and like how she embodied that voice. And you would think, listening to Audra McDonald sing and how like operatic and legit sounding she is, that she wouldn't be able to make her voice do that. But she can't. Oh my God, she was fabulous. It was one of my favorite things I think I've seen in a very long time, was seeing her do that. And then I went to a burger place. I forget the name of it. After Friday, I need a burger and I need some fries, like right now. I walked around Soho, and I walked up into Chinatown a little bit, and I went and found the hotel that I'm staying at for one night, the night before I go to Amsterdam. I went and found the hotel, went to a cute shop and bought some really awesome shirts that I'd never really seen anywhere else before. Then my evening show was Motown. I worked in the hair department on Broadway. I was a swing and a day worker for over a year and a half, but I never actually saw the show. I just heard it, you know, over the monitor. So the show starts, the curtain goes up, and those guys walk forward and the lights go on, and I'm like, am I seeing a high school production of Motown? Why is everybody so young? Not that there's anything wrong with being young. The opening scene, they have lines about being too fat and too old. And I'm like, they're not even old enough to drive. The guy that played Berry Gordy was amazing. His voice was incredible. His riffs were great. He sounded great. He acted great. I was so spoiled with the voices we had in New York. Michael Kilgore, Moesha McGill, Saquon. Vocally, it didn't give me what I was expecting to get out of Motown. And that's not to say that people weren't good. They were good. Everyone was good. The wigs looked the same. The costumes looked the same. The choreography was all the same. Everyone around me loved it. Just for me, I was just spoiled by New York vocals. That's all. That's all. I was going to the Harry Potter studio tour in the morning. I got up at 6 because I had to be there, checked in line for the bus at 7:45 in the morning, and it was about an hour commute. I got to the train station and everything fine. I checked in. I need a coffee break. They do kind of lie to you though when you take the Harry Potter bus, because they say that it's an air-conditioned bus with Wi-Fi that plays Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, what we call the Sorcerer's Stone in the States. No AC. No Wi-Fi. They didn't start playing the movie until the bus had been moving for about 40 minutes. And it's a little over an hour to get to the studio. It's maybe an hour and 15 or hour and 20. It's kind of like an airport. Like, they check your bags, they like pat you down, they do the metal detector. They just want to make sure that everyone's safe, which around kids and like expensive one-of-a-kind memorabilia, I get it. And the tour was awesome. It was like a 3-hour tour. You kind of guide your way through it on your own. You can't go back, but they're mostly big open rooms, so you can kind of circle around the room a couple times, look at everything, then go on to the next room, but you can't go back into a previous room. There were wigs everywhere. Every single costumed mannequin had a wig on. It was amazing. I didn't realize there were this many wigs in the films, so now I want to go back and watch, but I'm sure some of them were probably like a stunt double or a stand-in wig. I took lots and lots and lots of pictures. I took like over 200 pictures throughout the day. The casting of the mermaid with the crazy hair, she was really awesome. The creature department was so cool. Seeing all the prosthetics and seeing the animatronics and the robots. Made a set model of Hogwarts for a lot of the aerial scenes. So most of that isn't computer generated. It's a model that they built with like green screen in the back. And it's huge. I walked into that room and it was breathtaking. I was probably in that room alone for about 45 minutes because they have little screens and you can read about everything. I went and read every single little thing. I love set models and stuff like that. I always have as a kid. So the fact that there's this full-scale model of the entire Hogwarts castle in such amazing detail, and every couple minutes the lights go from night to day, so you get to see all the lights flickering on the inside. The lights are all individually controlled. It's freaking incredible. It was so cool. And then we got on the bus to come back. The bus coming back played Harry Potter, and had Wi-Fi, but didn't have air conditioning. So I was kind of like, okay, great, but at least I had Wi-Fi, but I slept for most of the ride back into London as well. And then I got right on a train back to Eastbourne, and I slept in my bed here Sunday night. And then went back to class on Monday. And then this week has been pretty much kind of uneventful now that I've been back here, just kind of working on my wig. I keep having to check my Instagram for the time logs because I don't remember how long I've been working on this thing, and that's actually kind of why I've been keeping track of the time on my Instagram. So I did 6 hours of knotting on Monday, which had my total at 21.5 hours of knotting, and I got this much done. So that's 6 hours of knotting on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I only got 5.5 hours worth of knotting done. And then yesterday, Wednesday, I got another full 6 hours in, and I finished up to the seam on the occipital bone of the head, and I started working up into the crown. And then today, Thursday, I got another 6 hours in, which makes it 38 hours now. And I am probably about in between a third and a half done in the crown area. But I am taking tomorrow, Friday, off from knotting, and I'm gonna make another foundation. Since AK did do a tracing of my head, I want to make one more foundation before I'm done. I do have a hairline tracing on a block of my head at my studio in New York, and so it's not like I can't do it there, but I want one more in since I've been ventilating for a week now, while I still have the expert Barbie at my disposal to ask questions. And I'll probably finish that Monday morning. I'm pretty sure I will finish my wig if I take Friday off and Monday morning off to build a foundation. I will probably finish my wig end of day Thursday of next week. So hopefully I want to learn how to weave to make wefting, like handmade wefting next. So I want to learn as much as I can while I'm here. I'd rather risk not finishing the wig and be able to do another foundation and maybe some weaving, and then maybe finish the wig once I get back to New York. I am staying in Eastbourne this weekend. I'm not going to London again. I kind of just want to sleep in one day and like go hang out on the beach for an afternoon and not do anything. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to check out all my fun social media links down in the box, my website, Instagram, Facebook, email address, all of that fun stuff's down there. You can also check out bobbypins.com, where I have a wide assortment of beautiful synthetic lace front wigs, wefting, heads, rollers, etc. Everything you guys need to help you get your wig projects done right. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys next week for the 4th installment of my fun European wig adventure. And remember, hashtag, it's called a wig.